So tsunami is basically a natural disaster, guys. We all know that. And in today's lecture, we will discuss only about the impact and preparedness if we receive a tsunami warning. So moving on, I have maintained these contents. We will start with the causes of tsunami and the characteristics and what are the past incidences which we have faced across the globe and also in our country. And what are the monitoring stations which are built so far by our country and also the neighboring countries to give a tsunami warning. And next we will discuss about the precautions which we are supposed to take on getting a tsunami warning and also post tsunami. So we will start with the introduction. I think you have already seen the introduction, guys. Yeah. In the previous video itself, we have seen that tsunami is basically a Japanese word which is being derived from two words, su and nami, and which means that these are harbor waves. Japan is the country which is majorly hit by tsunamis regularly. Every 3 or 4 years, it gets a very big tsunami. And minor tsunamis, minor water incidents are basically common in Japan. Because you know that Japan is basically a combination of different islands. And there are so many minor islands, and it has a very large water coast, sea coast. So that's why tsunamis in Japan are very common. And you know that most of the time tsunamis are hit because of earthquakes. There are other reasons also. So mostly tsunamis are experienced in Pacific Ocean. But in the recent past, we have been experiencing in Indian Ocean also. There are very minor instances or hardly any instances where we have experienced tsunamis in Atlantic Ocean. We have experienced most of the times in Pacific Ocean, and the last one in the Indian Ocean. We know that very well. The Indian Ocean, the Sri Lanka, India, etc. All these countries have suffered because of this tsunami which happens. So tsunami is basically characterized by a series of waves, seismic waves, which are of very large nature, and they will be having a very long length, and also they will be having a very large length and also very long periods. They will normally, if you have gone to any seabed or if you have gone to any waterbed or large waterbed, you can see that the waves and tides, they will just come and they will just go. You might have seen them, the crests and troughs. They will just come and they will just go back, right? But tsunami waves, basically, they will be having a very longer lengths. They will just move forward for a few hours or so, and then they will track back and they will come back after maybe from hours or so. So when they track back, they will get all the material which they have surpassed. So that's why tsunamis are considered to be having a very greater length, and they will just project into the land area. So these are the causes for tsunamis. The major causes, the first one is undersea events. Most of the time so far we have experienced undersea events only. Majorly earthquakes which do happen in the depth of the sea or the ocean, or any landslides and volcanic eruptions. So these three which are happening under the sea, these are resulting in earthquakes. And other than that, let us suppose if on the beaches any rocks or any landslides will be happening, directly these rocks will be falling into the oceans or into the bays. Then also we'll be experiencing large waves, but they may not be considered as tsunamis. Okay? And the other one is meteor impacts. Ocean meteor impacts is also one of the natural reasons for arrival of tsunami. So once again, earthquakes, landslides, and volcanic eruptions. The shifting of tectonic plates inside the earth is creating waves inside the ocean. Normally, if we experience on the earth surface, beneath the earth surface, we will be calling it as an earthquake, right? Similarly, if it happens inside the ocean depth, it will result in movement of water, right? And this movement of water is basically termed as tsunami. We have seen that in the video, that how a mismatch in the tectonic plates will displace the water, which will move towards the surface of the earth, resulting in massive waves. Now moving ahead, these are the characteristics of tsunami. So whenever it is tsunamis, basically we will study tsunamis basically of what we see in two ways. Let us suppose if we are in the middle of the sea, how we will see the tsunami. Let us suppose if we are on the sea coast, how we will see the tsunami. So let us have a quick look about the two instances. One is, let us suppose if you are crossing a deep ocean, if you are in the middle of an ocean, then can you experience a tsunami? This is a big question, beta. You might have seen in the 2012 movie also. How many of you have seen the movie 2012? The name of the movie itself is 2012. Anybody? If not, try to watch the movie 2012. It is one of the wonderful movies so far produced. English movie 2012. Okay, so you can see that. So whenever you are crossing a deep ocean, it's very difficult to identify tsunami better. It cannot be seen by ships or from air, because surrounding what you will be having water. Suddenly what happens? The water level rises, and you can't see it with your you can't see with your naked eye. What you will be just on the water itself. Just you will be experiencing that your height will be a little bit increased. So it is difficult for us if you are in the middle of a ocean. It will be difficult for us to predict a tsunami. So that's why what I have mentioned here. See, unseen by ships, nor seen from air. If you are in the middle of the ocean, and the height will be few meters. And why we can't see means because the length of the wave will be nearly 100 kilometers and above. So మన చుట్టూ కనబడే 100 kilometers వరకు మొత్తం పైకి లేసి ఉంటుంది. Normal గా when we can see with our 4C, let us suppose మనం పైకి ఉన్నాం, అవతల కిందికి ఉందంటే, then we can predict that okay, something is happening. If everything is at a higher, right, then we can't predict properly, right? So that is a problem if you are in the middle of a ocean. Okay. And the wave energy extends from the deep ocean surface, from the bottom of the ocean to the surface. So normally there will be a rise in the water basically if you are in the middle of a ocean. So that's why it will be difficult for us to predict tsunamis when you are in the middle of a ocean. But whereas if you are in the shallow water near the coastlines, or if you are on the coastal bed, then we can see, because you will be seeing some vast waves coming onto the land, right? So when you see that, normally you can see that the waves, if you are in the middle of a ocean, wave speeds will be high. Slowly what happens is the wave speeds drop and energy is compressed only to smaller distances. But the wave heights will increase. Wave heights will increase probably up to some 20 meters and above. We have even seen the Great Tsunami of India. Even in that one, we have seen heights of up to 40 meters also. So normally 20-30 meters height we will see for the waves. Normal ga meer beach lo kuchunte, you can see just only waves of up to, let us suppose 1 meter chuste meeku ekku. Meer Chennai beach, if you go to the Chennai beach or Mumbai beach or Goa beach, how much you can see even on a full moon day or a new moon day? You can see maximum of up to 1 meter or 1.5 meter, isn't it? But whereas in case of a tsunami, you can see waves up to a length of 40 meters. See, imagine if it is a 40-meter length, it will be of a height of a building, isn't it? Our fourth floor, and beyond that also. And these waves, they will hit the shore with a very huge force. That's what I have mentioned. See, the wave speeds drop, energy is compressed into much shorter distances, which will lead to increase in the wave heights, and these waves, they will strike the shore with devastating forces. So this are the characteristics of tsunamis. And as already mentioned, tsunamis are more commonly seen in Japan. They are more commonly seen in Pacific Ocean, but unfortunately Indian Ocean also experienced few tsunamis, and one of the tsunami, which is so far biggest tsunami so far, to my knowledge is concerned, it is the biggest tsunami which we experienced in 2004. I think you might be very small kids during that time of tsunami. A very, very, very big thing which has happened in our lives. See, it has affected nearly 11 countries. You might have seen that in the video there. Sri Lanka, Chennai, early morning hours it has hit. And those people who were, Chennai, I think most of you have visited Chennai and Vizag also. You can see that on the beaches basically. In Golden Beach and Vaga Beach, you can see that there will be what we call for the pedestrians. Basically, there are for the morning joggers. There are jogger parks across the beach. So nobody has expected anything. We didn't have that much tsunami warning centers in 2004 because we have never experienced any tsunami at that time. India has never experienced any tsunami till 2004. And suddenly there was some earthquake somewhere in Burma and somewhere near in the south of Burma. So suddenly the waves started. Nobody predicted. Nobody knows what happened. Suddenly early morning, done. After Christmas, early the day before was Christmas and Boxing Day, and everyone was on leaves. Most of the people, and everybody was enjoying. And morning itself, the waves struck Chennai. All the part of Tamil Nadu, Vizag, Andhra Pradesh, predominantly in Tamil Nadu, predominantly in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The waves of height of nearly 40 meters hit the shores, and they carried away all the people who were there on the shores. A very unfortunate incident which happened in our country. The casualties, official casualties, because I have already said, it has really hit nearly very strongly 11 countries which are surrounding this Indian Ocean. Sri Lanka is the worst hit. Burma was the worst hit. Malaysia, Indonesia. See the radius. Malaysia, Indonesia, Burma. All these countries were hit because of this tsunami. See the radius, the big radius of this one. Thousands of kilometers the waves spread. Official list was itself. See, I have mentioned 283 people have died because of waves. See, imagine what is the impact. Nobody because it was the first we ever faced, and the information was an old information. I think nearly it was unofficially. People think that there is a loss of nearly 10 lakhs of people in all the 11 countries put together, because nobody knows what has happened. Quickly, it just lasted for few hours. That's it, and everything was done. So it is called as the Great Indian Tsunami, which happened in 2004, and these are the worst tsunamis. Other than that, in 1833, it was because of an volcanic eruption in Indonesia. You know that Indonesia and Malaysia, they do have volcanoes. So because of a volcanic eruption inside the ocean, so there was an tsunami in Indonesia, which has resulted in, it was way back before our independence and civilizations, right? So, and after that, Japan, which generally experiences a lot of tsunamis because of it is present in Pacific Ocean, and the Philippines, China, Japan, they do regularly have. And recently, you might have, with the invention of the tsunami warning systems, because all the countries now who do share these oceans, particularly the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean, they have set up their own water monitoring systems, tsunami warning systems, literally speaking. Because after this Indian Ocean impact, which has impacted in very huge losses of human and also property, every country started developing its own tsunami warning system. China, Japan, we, India. India is also the master of tsunami warning system. We have also developed our own tsunami warning system. US people do have, Canada people do have. So all the people who do have a border with Pacific Ocean and Indian Ocean, they are having the tsunami warning systems. So whenever they feel that any earthquake has happened in the crest of Earth or in the ocean bed, so immediately, the moment they feel that there was an earthquake, or the moment they feel that there was a volcano erupted inside the ocean bed, they will immediately issue a tsunami warning for the next few hours. And if they feel that, and they will be monitoring the wave heights, and if they feel that the wave heights are coming down and the impact is going to be less, then immediately they will take off the tsunami warnings. So just like our cyclone warnings, just how we are experiencing, the same way tsunami warnings are also being given by the Tsunami Warning Center, TWC, Tsunami Warning Centers. Recently, you might, I think it was in the month of July, I think there was a tsunami warning which was issued by Alaska. I think you know Alaska, right? It is in Northern America. There was some sort of earthquake there in Alaska. So the US Tsunami Warning Center has issued a small, a minor tsunami warning there. In Japan, every time we will be listening to tsunami warnings, at least twice in a year, basically. But in our country, I think we haven't issued any tsunami warning in the recent past. So this is regarding tsunamis, the characteristics and basic information about tsunami. And moving ahead, see these red color indicated areas, these are the areas which are basically affected by the tsunamis, if you carefully see. See this red color zones. Even India also has a border, if you carefully see. This area, which is this is also one of the areas which is generally likely to be affected by the tsunamis. And see this area, China, Japan, and Russia. This is one of the biggest areas. And latestly, which I have mentioned, this is the area which has issued a tsunami warning. Okay. And see, this is one area. All these are Pacific Ocean areas. If you carefully see, this is the Pacific Ocean, and this is the Pacific Ocean, right? So all these areas surrounding the Pacific Oceans, they will be experiencing. This is Indonesia and Malaysia. So these areas will be experiencing tsunamis regularly. Okay, and the Indian Ocean, the Great Tsunami of India, it started here, and the waves they spread to up to this area. And all the countries which are in this area, they have experienced tsunamis in 2004. And the heavily impacted was this one, Burma and this Sri Lanka and parts of Tamil Nadu. So these two areas were heavily impacted with 2004 tsunami. Okay. So, and tsunami regions in India, as I've already mentioned, you can see one is Andaman Sea and southwest of Sri Lanka, which we do have, and Arabian Sea coast. So I can show you. So this area and this area, if you carefully see. So, and the Andaman Islands, which we do have here, these are possible areas of impact because of the cyclones. Sorry, tsunamis, not cyclones. And across the globe, different countries have started developing these tsunami warning stations, tsunami warning centers, and they have been sharing the information to all the other countries. So like that, internationally, a warning system has been developed by the leading countries, which is called as an international tsunami warning system, where a coordination group has been developed, what we call it as ICG, International Coordination Group. International Coordination Group. And see, this is the International Coordination Group, wherein the countries will be having members who can discuss about the possible warnings and impact of tsunamis. And see, the America and Canada and the Latin American countries, they have developed this Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, which acts as a secondary body to International Tsunami Information Center. Similar to Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, there is an Indian Ocean Tsunami Warning Center also, where India is one of the leaders in that one. So all these ocean tsunami warning centers, they will report to this information center, International Tsunami Information Center. Okay. And in this warning system, there are 24 seismic stations, which will monitor the seismic activities inside the water bodies and earths. 24 seismic stations to monitor the seismic activities, 53 tide stations which will monitor the tides, whether they are, what is the length of the tides, what is the height of the tides, and there are 101 dissemination points. These dissemination points are the points where data will be collected. Okay, normal data of the water will be collected, water flow data. So this many number of things have been deployed by this international tsunami warning system to monitor the tsunamis. And this task will be taken up by the members, the countries which are part of this ICG. This is on a global scale. Now, in India also, we have developed Indian Tsunami Early Warning Center. And you know, guys, it is situated in Telangana. The head office of this one is situated in Telangana. You know that at Hyderabad, we do have this Indian National Center for Ocean Sciences. We do have one here, and the branch office is at Vizag. So this is one place where we do have Hyderabad. The other monitoring station is at Vizag, where they will be monitoring the sea. And it works under the Central Ministry of Earth Sciences. It will be monitoring the earth bed and also the water beds. And it issues advisories regarding the tsunami to the government. And what does it consist of? See, it consists of real-time seismic monitoring network. See, how many are there? 17 broadband seismic stations are there. And see, it has a network of real-time sea level sensors. See, these have been established in Indian Ocean by the country of India. 4 bottom pressure recorders. So every time they will be monitoring the pressure of water inside the ocean. And see, how many tidal stations are there? 25 tidal stations, 17 seismic stations, and 4 bottom pressure recorders. This is a network which we have developed, Indian Tsunami Early Warning Center. And see, 24/7 operational tsunami warning center to give you valuable timely advisories to all the people who are exposed, who are vulnerable to tsunamis. Okay, so this is regarding the warning systems which we have developed. Before 2004, nothing was there. After 2004, we have taken up so many measures to mitigate the impact of tsunami. We can't prevent it. What we can do is nothing but mitigate its impacts. So this is what we have done. So now we'll have a quick look about what to be done. See, these are the precautions on tsunami arrival, what we are supposed to do, and precautions after tsunami. And before I go into these things, I want you guys to share your information. So, how many of you are ready to share the things? So what are the precautions which we are supposed to take? Let us suppose if you are in Chennai because of your software job, and suddenly there was a tsunami warning center. So what is the thing which you are supposed to do? Yeah. So what are the precautions on tsunami survival? Come on, guys. It is not survival better, it is arrival. Sorry, I think I have made a mistake. Precautions on tsunami arrival. So what are the precautions which you are supposed to take? Can anybody? You can start typing in the chat box. Assume that you are in Chennai and suddenly somebody started already. Very good. Avoid seashores. Very good. Very good, Giri. Avoid seashores. This is one of the most important thing. Most of the people, most of the youngsters, they will be having an thought that why not take a picture and shorts, video shorts, Google shorts, right, YouTube shorts, and post it on the camera, post it on their Instagram page. Don't do that, guys. So try to avoid the seashores. Very good. Still any other things? Shanvas, very good. Staying in high area, very good, better. So you preferably stay in high area because the tides will be of very larger lengths and heights. Very good. Harini, stay indoors. So that's what we can do. Very good. Move to the top floor of the building. Very good, Sumi. And run as soon as possible. Where to run? Okay. If probably you can evacuate if you get an early warning, and you can move on to the higher grounds. Yes. So anything else? So let's see. The first thing, on hearing the occurrence of a strong earthquake or a tsunami warning, yes, if possible, move away from the warning areas. Sumant, very good. So stand by for a possible tsunami emergency, and be prepared to move from low areas. Very good, Sumant. That's what I have mentioned. When an official warning is issued, it means tsunami is actually existing. First of all, they will give a signal about seismic activity, and after that, you will be getting a tsunami warning. So first of all, if you hear a seismic activity warning, so immediately get ready to hear one more thing. If you don't hear it, no problem. There is no tsunami. But if you hear the tsunami warning, so immediately you are supposed to evacuate the place if there is a possibility. So what you are supposed to do? If you are on a boat, immediately don't come to the coast, immediately go into the deep ocean, because you will be safe there rather than coming to a coast. Because coastal areas are mostly impacted. If you are in the middle of the ocean, then move to the middle of the ocean. So all the vessels or boats are advised to move into the ocean rather than coming to the beach. So that is most important thing. And stay out of dangerous areas. Very good. And yes, never go to the shore. Giri already said. Very good, Vitu. And if possible, try to evacuate your places. Make sure that you do have a map for evacuation, because tsunami warnings will just come within hours, right? So if you do have your kids at the school, or your spouse is working at some other places, inform them, try to pick all these guys, have an evacuation map, and immediately start moving, okay? And identify the location, the topmost location which you want to go. And if possible, try to make it as quickly as possible, okay? Let us suppose if you have moved to some other place and you are safe, and now you want to come back. Similarly, just as we have seen in the case of floods and tsunami also, floods and cyclones, tsunami also will be the same, similar to that of floods, isn't it? So what are the precautions after tsunami? First of all, you listen to this broadcasting. If they say that it is safe, you can come back, and make sure that what are the areas which are being hit, roads, bridges, etc. Everything will be hit because of the tsunami. It will be just like a massive flood. That's it, isn't it? And if you are a government authority, try to help the people who have been suffering. So help injured or trapped persons. If possible, carry your first aid, and if it is required, you provide first aid for the others. And if your building is filled with water, try not to enter that one. So stay outside, let the water go off. And most important thing, floods is different, tsunamis is different. Floods are generally కొద్దిసేపే ఉంటాయి, వెళ్ళిపోతాయి. But tsunamis అనేది ఏంటంటే water will be flowing with a very, very large force when compared to the floods. So with this large flow force, buildings may lose grip of their basements. So that's why the floors or the buildings may collapse in case of tsunami. In the video also I have shown. Floods వచ్చినప్పుడు మహా అయితే ఫోర్స్ చాలా తక్కువ ఉంటుంది. నార్మల్గా వాటర్ ఎంటర్ అయితే మళ్ళీ వెళ్ళిపోతాయి తర్వాత. బట్ సునామీస్ అట్లా కాదు. They will hit the basements of the buildings with a very large force. ఇంతకుముందు వీడియోలో చూసాం కదా. The Indian tsunami of 2004, it might have listed nearly 23,000, energy of 23,000 Hiroshima bombs. అంత ఎనర్జీ హిట్ చేసినప్పుడు బేసికల్గా బిల్డింగ్స్ ఊగుతాయి బేసికల్గా. చూడటానికి పైకి బాగానే కనపడదు, బట్ వీ డోంట్ నో వాట్ ద క్రాక్స్ ఆర్ ఇన్సైడ్. సో దట్స్ వై ఇఫ్ దెర్ ఈస్ స్టిల్ వాటర్ ఇన్సైడ్ ఇట్, don't try to make an emergency move inside. Okay, that's the most important. So use extreme caution while re-entering the things, and if there is still water sustaining there, okay, so if you persist or if you linger in this water for a long time, you know that you will be having crack fits, right? So that's why try to use some solid shoes and examine the walls, floors and windows and staircases, everything, because the energy might have hurt your buildings, might have damaged your buildings. So that's why check for everything in your buildings. Okay, and most importantly, that's what I have mentioned, inspect the foundations. And because of the tsunami, because it is just like the sea water, isn't it? Anything might have entered into your buildings, crocodiles, snakes, animals, everything, whatever which is present in the oceans, it might have entered into your buildings. So check for your surroundings, check for everything, make sure that it doesn't have anything. Okay, and lastly, even though we don't experience this in case of floods, but whenever we experience tsunamis, lots of mud gets deposited in our homes. So shovel the mud while it is still moist. Okay, so if you remove the mud, then there is a chance for your walls to become dry. So these are some pictures of tsunamis. This is one picture. You can see this one. And see, the left one was before tsunami, the right one was after tsunami. See the impact of tsunami. Very large impact of tsunami, isn't it? Everything was washed out. So now I hope you have understood what are the characteristics of tsunami and what are the preparatory measures, what you can do. When compared to all the other disasters which we have gone through so far, floods, cyclones, etc., these are commonly things and these will last for a few days. So we will be having a large list of precautionary measures and action plan and preparedness, preventive measures. But for tsunamis, we have experienced only once, and after that we have got so many precautionary measures, preventive mitigation measures. We have been monitoring, we have got our own system which is developed by the government. So they are monitoring everything. So as an individual, our preparedness will be very, very small. Just only after listening the warning, we will be having very few hours of time. So call your loved ones, gather them, immediately evacuate to a higher place. That's the only thing what you can do. See, it is not just like the floods. Okay, after the floods you can come back to your home. We don't know whether our house will be there or not if a tsunami hits. That will be the energy. So that's why very minimum thing, just grab your belongings of what you can, call your loved ones, pack the things, emergency things, and just move on to a place if you do have. That's it. So that's it from my side, guys. So anything which you want to add regarding this one? And these are the questions. What can cause tsunamis? I have listed a few things. And what are the precautionary measures to be taken on tsunami alert? So don't panic, guys. Try to organize.